Good morning, everyone. It's so exciting to see all these faces on our Zoom screen. I love seeing your kiddies and your families and everyone in the background. So we're so excited that you all were able to join us this morning. As Dr. Leatherwood said, we do typically have orientation in person. We have music, we have snacks. It's so fun to get to meet everyone individually, hear your story, hear your plans. So we look forward to hopefully getting to meet you all on campus at some point during the semester and getting to connect with you. I do have a few things that I'll elaborate on that Dr. Leatherwood had touched on. We do have a video that we had prepared to share out with folks to let you know some of those preparations that Dr. Leatherwood said that we had made on campus over the summer, preparing for our incoming fall class. I just want to share that with you all now. I'm going to share my screen and share a quick video with you.
Hello, Blue Ridge family. In the past few months, Blue Ridge Community College has adapted to the ever-changing presence of COVID-19. We've implemented changes that are approved by the CDC, the Governor's Office, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and our local public health officials to keep you safe and ensure a clean environment for our students, employees, and visitors. Here are some of these changes.
When we come back to campus, you're going to see a lot of different things and stuff on the floor and on the doors, signage-wise. What we're asking you to do is that you follow the directional arrows on the floor, you pay attention to signs on the door. 6 feet apart is a huge part of what COVID recommendations are. So you have one entrance point, exit points, so you don't cross each other.
So whenever you come into each building, there should be a freestanding hand sanitizer station that's automatic where you don't have to touch anything, and it'll dispense sanitizer where you can sanitize your hands. In some of the buildings, we do have a sign-in whenever you come in so we can just track the visitors. Just in case if contact tracing needs to happen from the health department, if they were to contact us to want to know who is in the building on any given day, we'd be able to answer that question.
As we've been going through this COVID experience, we know that our requirements and suggestions seem to change on a regular basis. And so we at the college are adhering to those requirements as they come down to us. If the state of North Carolina or Henderson County is requiring the use of face coverings, which they currently are, we are going to enforce those rules and regs.
And then our front desk area, we do have a large plexiglass shield that runs around the entire desk. We also have glass shields in front of our desk to do the same type of thing. And these are very well made, lightweight shields, so we can keep that barrier between us and the public.
We've came up with some creative solutions as far as how classroom layout and lab layout goes. The students come in and sit 6 feet apart at least. Depending on the application, what lab is required at that time, we have been doing the face mask and the actual latex gloves if need be. We've done away with most of our fully seated classes. We've went to a blended or hybrid portion for most of them, so we can kind of adapt if we do go into a crisis again.
We've actually partnered with some local vendors to get our safety equipment. From a plexiglass standpoint, we partnered with Alphatech Inc. and Silver Sports. We did physical labs for our hand sanitizer, and for our mask, we actually partnered with the Manual Woodworkers.
I'd like to thank all of our local vendors for helping us keep this campus safe. And I'd like to thank everyone for your perseverance and flexibility during this unprecedented time. Stay safe and remember, we are Education Elevated.
So that video just kind of recaps a few of the things that Dr. Leatherwood had already mentioned this morning of precautions that we've been taking on campus to make sure that our faculty, staff, and students are going to be safe while we're here. The next piece that you're seeing on your screen is a campaign that we've created called Do Your Part. So it mentions the 3 W's that Dr. Leatherwood had highlighted earlier, and things that I'm sure that you all have seen if you've went to any retail stores or watched the news. They talk about the 3 W's: to wait 6 feet apart, wear a face covering, and wash your hands frequently. So as you saw in the video, we do have hand sanitizer stations. That's my favorite part of the video, by the way. We have those all over campus, and so those are going to be easily accessible to you all anywhere you are on campus if you need to use the sanitizer in between washings. Next caveat we have here on the Do Your Part campaign is to stay home when you're sick. So I think right now is a time where we just can't be careful enough. So if you wake up one morning and you're just not feeling well and not sure what's going on, please reach out to your instructor and let them know that you're not feeling well and just stay home for that day. We want to be cautious and not bring sick folks onto campus. And so please just make sure you're in communication with your instructor, and they're going to be flexible with you all and be able to communicate and let you know what class assignments need to be made. There might be an opportunity where you can log on to your class virtually and still be able to attend if you feel like doing that. So there's lots of options and flexibility. So just make sure you let your instructor know what's going on with you. So please don't just disappear. Please stay in touch with us and let us know how we can help you and support you and keep classes going well for you all throughout the semester. The last couple bullet points are stay connected and follow us on social media. So there's going to be lots of emails coming to you all, particularly at the beginning of the semester as we're getting our classes started. So please make sure you set up your Blue Ridge email accounts, and that there's going to be directions on how to do that a little later in this orientation program. So please make sure you set up that email account and that you check it frequently. So we have lots of classes that appear maybe on a schedule to be a seated class, but there may be a high flex opportunity where you can actually log into that class virtually from home and not have to attend on campus if you choose to do that. And we may have some larger classes where the faculty member are going to break up a class into a couple different groups, and they'll instruct you to come to campus on some days for instruction and log in virtually other days for instruction. So I can't stress how important it is to you all to please check that email as frequently as possible, especially at the beginning of the semester, to make sure we can get everything started smoothly for you all. Also for social media, stay connected there. If there are any kind of changes that need to happen throughout the semester, then we're going to communicate that there. As Dr. Leatherwood had shared earlier, there was a time back in the spring semester that our students weren't taking classes on campus and they were doing online learning, but we did remain open. So myself and my student services team were here the entire time. So if there's at any point that you all needed support or needed to have questions answered, we were here in the Sync building. And so if that happens again this fall, if there's a time where we have to allow students to do only distance learning and not come on campus, please know that we're going to be here in some capacity for you all. So if you don't feel comfortable coming onto campus, you can certainly do a phone call, or we can do virtual meeting sessions. We've gotten really good at doing that. We've had lots of experience with that and lots of opportunities to do that over the last few months. So please know that we are here, and so always reach out to us if you're at a point where you're not sure what to do. So just watch for that Do Your Part campaign on campus this semester. A couple other things that I want to highlight with you all this morning. So I had mentioned student services earlier. So what all the student services do. So probably during your admissions process here at the college, you have most likely interacted with a student services person. We have counseling, financial aid, veterans affairs, disability services. All of those pieces are in the student services, student life, student activities. So those are coming. There's going to be some fun things going on this semester that Suzanne will tell you all about later. So there's a big variety of just support here for you all as students. So please know that we are here. We're located, most of us are in the Sync building. And so please stop by if you're on campus, or reach out to us virtually or by email. We'd be glad to hear from you all. With those counseling, I want to highlight to you that we have several different counseling opportunities here for students. We offer personal counseling. So we realize with community college students, you guys have lots on your plate. So usually school is just one of many things. Am I right? I'm seeing some nods on the screen. So one of many things on your plate. So if you ever just need an ear to talk to, and we do have counselors available in student services. They also help with career counseling. So sometimes we have students that think they have a good idea of what program they're interested in and maybe get started in classes, and they realize this is exactly where I wanted to be, and that's great. Sometimes we have students that get started in those classes and they think, this isn't quite what I thought it was going to be, and I wonder what other opportunities there might be for me. So we do have folks in student services that can help with that career counseling and can talk with you about what your aspirations are career-wise and what programs we have that would match up with that. So we have that available as well. Also have crisis counseling, and we have a new program available to us that just started over the summer that's a student assistant program where we can actually help connect with a community resource to see a licensed counselor free of charge. So if at any point during the semester you all feel that you need any support, please again contact us in student services and we'd be glad to help you all. Also want to point out to you the student code of conduct. So I know some of you will be on campus this semester, some are going to be online. There's going to be a combination of the both, but if you look online and look at our college catalog, our student code of conduct is listed there. And so that's just kind of your playbook, if you will, of rules and expectations while you're on campus. And it also speaks to your online classes and etiquette for online classes. So please pay close attention to that code of conduct. Make sure you're adhering to those rules. I am the conduct officer, so I am the one that will follow up with students if we do have a violation, and I'm made aware of that. But just want to point out to you all that code of conduct. Also, we have listed in the catalog a section called FERPA. So has anybody heard of FERPA? Kind of like HEPA, whenever you go to the doctor's office, they have a form that you sign to release of who has access for your health records. Similar situation, but FERPA is the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. And so what that does is tells us the federal government outlines who and who does not have access to your personal records. So if you're over 18, you're going to be the one that has access to your records. So if your mom or dad were to call and want to know how you're doing in your classes, we're not going to be able to share that information with them. Also, we have information listed in that catalog online that's a list of what's called directory information. So that is the outline from the federal government telling us what all we can and cannot legally release about you as a student. So what I want to do is kind of give you an example of what that might look like. So if you look at this FERPA expectations, it will outline that name and address are one of the things that we can release as an institution. So an example I like to outline for that, if there's a used car lot down the street, if they contact me and say, hey, we're having a really big sale, we want to let all your students know about the sale we have coming up. I'm not going to give your name and addresses to the used car lot so they can tell you about their big sale. That doesn't have anything to do with school. That's not anything in educational interest. That would be soliciting on their part. So that's an example of when I would not release that information. So I'll give you an example of when we would release that information. If Western Carolina is going to be offering a new business administration track program, and it's going to be at their Biltmore campus, which is pretty close to our campus here in Flat Rock, if they were to contact me and say, hey, we're interested in knowing who your business administration students have been for the past 2 or 3 years, because we'd like to tell them about this opportunity. If they're interested in seeking a bachelor's degree after their associate degree at Blue Ridge, we'd like to let them know about this program. So that is an opportunity where I would release your name and information, because they do have an educational interest that they want to tell you about other opportunities for you in the area to further your education. So that is an example of when it would be released. So does that kind of make sense? I'm looking for nods. I'm getting nods. Perfect. It's so much more fun to be with you all in person, but we will work with what we've got to work with right now. So we appreciate you guys being troopers and hanging in there with us. Last thing that I want to highlight for you all before I turn it back over to Laura, we have what's called Title IX as a policy here on campus. And so that's lets you know if there's any kind of harassment or discrimination or anything like that that takes place on campus. I am the Title IX coordinator, so I'm the person that you all would report that to. So if you were to witness that or be subject to any kind of harassment or discrimination while you're on campus here at Blue Ridge, please know that that's not behavior that we tolerate, and I would be the person that you would report that to, and I can work with that student to support them through the options they have for reporting and taking action that's needed there. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted that for this group as well. So I appreciate your time this morning, and I look forward to hopefully getting to meet some of you all in person while you're around campus this semester, but I hope you all have a great fall semester. Thanks, Laura.